Elena, and Vanessa, no? If you had time to read all the information I sent from different papers.
No.
Well, some information is from two papers that I read about Light in August, and another one is from a chapter of a book. I don't know, Vanessa, if you could read them, but yes, okay. They deal with the question of memory in Light in August, and different interpretations of this question of memory, no? But I find interesting this idea of a, a memory that has been hurt or broken, or I don't remember exactly the word they use to show that the memory of Joe Christmas has been uh, sorry.
No, it was not damaged. It was another word.
Yes, I can't remember the word they use to show the um, not exactly, but that the idea is that his memory is not um, I mean, hurt by trauma, and that's why he kind of remembers certain things in a special way. Uh, well, when I find the word, I'll tell you. I don't know what is it. The idea is that his memory has been, in a way, spoiled from the very beginning. And according to Sartre, the beginning of his problem starts with the question of the toothpaste. And it is interesting because Jean Paul Sartre, who wrote The Nausea, La Nausea, see, based his novel, La Nausea, on this idea of Joe Christmas's having, when vomiting with the toothpaste. You remember that when he takes too much toothpaste, he vomits. And according to Sartre, this is something that happens because he rejects what he is experiencing. In the case of Joe Christmas, is the question of women, a sexual situation, because as a boy he cannot understand what is happening, and also the question of food, women, food, and sex, let's say. And his rejection is shown in his vomiting, precisely, no? And then this idea is taken up by Jean-Paul Sartre for his novel The Nausea. But then there is another philosopher who, well, I you haven't read the end of the book, but when at the end, the idea is that, according to Jean-Paul Sartre, he when he at the end of the novel, he can see Joe. I'm talking about Joe. He can, in a way, see the future, and not like a gypsy, but in the existentialist point of view. The his moment is that moment, the moment at the end. Yes, that is his existence at that moment, and that is the moment he sees his existence in a whole, in a complete way. No, so that is Sartre's interpretation, who sees.
In it, what I read is Sartre um, makes a comparison of consciousness to freedom.
Yes,
Rancière and Romanos, another philosopher, consciousness and memory.
yes,
Two
exactly.
different approaches.
Exactly. Yes, and the freedom that Sartre talks about is the freedom that Joe achieves at the end of his life. Only then he achieves freedom. Freedom from
Yeah.
what? From his circumstances, from his past. No. So that is this idea of freedom. While the other philosopher. Claude Romano.
Romano and Rancière were the three.
Yes.
Romano, Rancière, and Sartre.
And Sartre, yes. And Romano speaks of not freedom, memory, yes, how his memory works, and that memory is in a way affected by the collective memory of the South of the United States. And at the same time, the individual of a man who lives in Mississippi in the 1920s. So the mixture of the individual and the collective memory, no?
This is something that historians said very often, that all the feeling of self experience are molded, are
Yes,
constrained,
yes,
constrained by social environment.
exactly. Yes, in his case, it is very clear. In Joe's case, no, because the question of race, the question of the color of his skin, the question of his ancestors, who he ignores because he doesn't know who his parents were. But the idea that this could have been a black man or a black woman, he doesn't know. Um, all that influences his memory. And I think that we can see that in the episode when he goes to the Negro part of the city and he smells the smell of Negroes, and he hears their voices or their songs. No, that
He almost ran away from there.
yes.
He wanted to smell he said the cold odor, no?
Yes.
Smell of the white people.
Yes. So his memory is associated with smells and colors and sensations, no, the experience. And then the third one, Rancière, who is a man who is alive. Yeah? Rancière is a French philosopher who teaches in France. Well, I don't know. Perhaps he's not working now because he's
Retired.
Yes, but he is alive. That's what I mean. And he has this idea of the novels that start in this period. Yes, um, are not about the upper class like the novels in the previous period, and they start describing the non-important events that happen to normal people.
To the poor people, he said.
Yes. And he focuses on that, how a novel can deal with people who are not important to anybody else.
And their daily events are shown by Faulkner. He
Yes.
is a kind of link the old novel and modern novel, no?
With modern novel, yes. He finds this connection, yes, in Faulkner. And that's why he pays attention to Faulkner too, because of his focusing on poor people or people who he says we are not important before. And
Yes.
if we think of novels of the previous period, D.H. Lawrence or anything, Jane Austen, whatever you want, they all deal with people of the upper classes, and the lower classes are not mentioned. I don't know if
Because it seemed that nothing happened to them, as there were nothing
nothing happened to them. Exactly. And I don't know if you can think of one of these novels that I imagine you have read. And in general, for instance, in Jane Austen's novels, the servants or the workers, the people, the peasants, they are not even mentioned. They as if they never existed.
Didn't exist, right?
Claro, things are done by people, but things are done. The
Yes.
served, the clothes are washed, but nobody mentions the people who do these activities. While in with Faulkner, a new tradition starts according to Rancière, no? And that's why Rancière deals with people who are poor people who are nobody for the who are not important. He says, yes, for the
Mhm.
rest of the people.
Well, but in some of Hardy's characters were poor,
Yes, that's why I don't agree with Rancière completely. Let's say because
right?
Dickens also deals with poor people.
Dickens too, right?
So this is not exactly the idea, but he has his point too, because the way in which the life of the people in the city, no, in this in Jefferson, the way the life of these people is described is very let's say detailed. Yes, we see
Hmm.
how the woman cooks, how how they do things. They really do things. Mm?
Yes.
Well,
I think that what you wanted to say about memory before was wounded memory.
thank you, Vanessa. That was the expression.
I asked my son to write it in the chat, but I think uh,
Perhaps
I
I
don't know,
didn't.
maybe it didn't reach you
No,
because I didn't, I may not have had connection.
He put wounded.
Did he write? Okay,
Yes, wounded.
okay.
wounded.
Very
Claro.
good.
And I didn't read it because I couldn't see
It
the.
doesn't matter. Yes.
Yes, claro, a wounded memory. That is a wonderful expression. Yes, a
Mm-hmm.
wounded memory. For the case of Jaws. Thank you, Vanessa. That was the
Yeah,
expression.
you're welcome.
And then the chapter of the book that I sent to you. I mean, some parts of the chapter I sent you, connected also with the question of memory and this tradition, no, that is shown in the novel. Yes, connecting this character with Lina, and I found very interesting that he says that they say, because there are two women, they say that the connection is Hightower.
Yes.
The connection is
Hightower.
through House Tower. Yes, they never meet.
They never meet, no,
Yes.
although their lives are connected, because but astonishingly the connection is not brown, no, the child's father. What was the name? Well, I
Birch,
Joe.
Lucas
Yes,
Birch.
Lucas Birch.
Lucas Birch.
Or
But I cannot understand who is the connection with Lina with
Joe.
ah
Lina
But
and Joe.
the
Joe
connection
Christmas.
is Gail, the one who is in the pulpit, is Gail
High
Hightower.
Tower.
A
Yes.
Hightower, yes, because although Lina and Joe never meet, and we might think that the connection is Lucas Birch, because Lucas knew
Mm-hmm.
Joe and of course Lina,
Yes.
but all the same, these writers say that the connection is Hightower because he's there watching both of them.
Yes.
And this is very interesting too because of his name, no? He's in the
Yes.
Hightower.
Well, Byron Bunch also knows both of them.
Yes, Byron too. And well, they say that this man is the man in the window, because you remember
Yes.
that Hightower is always pictured
yes.
as watching through his window, no?
He's very eager to know what happened in his town.
Yes. And
Mhm.
and this is, I mean, although he can hear, you remember there are passages when it says that he can hear the voices in the church when the people
Yes,
sing, no?
yes.
But that is something, I mean, everyday things for him. That is something he is already acquainted with. But the new noise, we can say, comes from Lina and from Joe, the things that are not normal in this city. And
Mhm.
sorry?
No, but I think that Hightower is like these people that testify,
Okay, yes, yes,
because he knows everything because of Byron.
yes,
Byron tells him a lot of things about the Barden house and Lina and how they meet in the meal.
yes,
I don't know if Hightower knows very well the feelings of Byron on Lina, his
yes.
feelings of
He
being in love.
realizes,
He
immediately that he's in love with Lina.
understood.
Okay, so maybe he, as a witness, is very important in the story because he's like the viewer of
Yes,
every situation.
and
Although he doesn't go out
of
from
his house,
home.
yes, and then you will see that the connection with Joe is very similar too, because I don't want to spoil the rest, but he also has a connection with Joe that is similar to his connection with Lina, in the sense that they are not friends, or but there is a meeting. Yes, they
Mm.
have a question. I mean, he learns about Joe, everything that he did, about his killing of Joanna Burden, etc. And there is a moment when they meet. In the case with Lina, in the case of Lina, sorry, and in the case of Joe's. In both cases, Hightower meets them. Yes.
And in it, what you send, in some paragraph, it says that your Christmas story wouldn't be so important if Lena Grove didn't exist.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
different, no?
Yes.
Because they are both poor, but they're they are quite different. And Lena gives importance to Christmas, no?
Yes. Yes. The comparison, no, because um, Claude Romano also said that the question of Lina accepts life in a passive way.
Mhm.
Uh, she allows life to work, no?
Yes.
That is her
It's
attitude, no?
about carelessness, carelessness.
Yes.
Yes.
Living, no, she just lives.
Exactly. She is also, according to this Romano, I mean, belonging to nature. She lets nature work, no? While Joe is always fighting
Yes,
against his destiny, fighting against
His nature
nature.
also,
Yes,
although he doesn't know what his real nature in a way is, his
claro.
origins.
He doesn't know what it is, but he's always
And when he's connected to nature, he acts like a savage,
yes, yes,
whereas Lina flows with nature, let's say.
yes,
yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
So that is also interesting, no? The comparison between the two, and the connection with Hightower, that we can see, I mean, more clearly when the novel advances, no? How
Mhm.
connection is established, and how he watches both situations from a distance too, no? So, well, I think that I wanted to discuss this with you, because, in a way, this brings some new light to the novel, no?
Yes.
Okay. So the other day, you said that we read, Teresa, the part of the fight.
You said that
Yes.
we were going to wait.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
I
it was the beginning of chapter 9 when they started fighting,
Yes.
when
Full
Joe
room.
threw a chair onto
To
his
Makita.
father.
Yes, to his
Yes.
father. So, I don't know if you remember, Malena, but Joe goes to a dance at the school with Bobby, and this time he has already escaped from his house on many other occasions, but this time McKitchen realizes that he is escaping through using the rope, yes, through the window, and he follows him on a horse, yes, at a high speed, and he arrives.
Yes, and then all the story about the horse
Ah,
in Joy Christmas is evil in him. He's an evil person. The way he treats the horse, the old horse,
yes, yes, very. That is really very, very.
cruel,
Yes,
cruel.
so cruel, very cruel.
Yes,
Because when
yes.
Malena, when McKitchen arrives at the dance and he finds Joe with Bobby, he insults Bobby. He calls her a harlot. She starts shouting at him, and Joe fights with him and throws a chair. Well, of course, McKitchen also hits Joe, no, first. And then he throws a chair to McKitchen and he throws him to the floor.
And Bobby always shrieking and struggling with the people who hold her. Terrible, terrible.
A terrible
Yes,
scene, very violent, very
yes.
violent. And when he abandons the place, Joe, no, the man McKitchen is on the floor bleeding. So we don't know if he's dead or if he has survived. Nothing. And to his well, Bobby is taken by some people, by some men, and she leaves by car. So Joe goes after her on the horse that McKitchen has used. And this is why Teresa said that Joe is so cruel, because he makes
Sorry, sorry, Inés. He's not going detrás, Bobby.
her.
He's not going to following her. He goes to the house, to the small box with the money,
Yes,
to
yes,
Martina's house.
yes. He goes to McKitchen's house first, to his house, let's say,
Yes,
forcing the horse, because the horse is
yes.
an old horse. The horse cannot go so quickly. So he forces the horse, he presses the horse, he hits the
He
horse.
hit him.
Yes. And when he gets to the house, he finds Mrs. McKitchen, who is there waiting for them, and trying always to be in this situation of waiting. No, she's there like also very passive, and he pushes her aside.
And he says that this Mr. McKeeson, I never know the name, is at a dance. He's at
Yes,
a dance.
he's at the
Ah,
dance.
yes,
Yes,
but not dancing.
but not dancing.
Yes.
He doesn't tell her exactly what has happened, but she can see it, no? And he takes all the money, that she has kept, no, that the woman has kept, and he escapes again to go to look
To get married
Bobby,
with Bobby.
with Bobby. He wants to. He goes to the bar where Bobby lives, because what does he want? What is his plan?
To get married with Bobby.
Yes, yes. He wants to run away with Bobby
Run away.
and marry her. Yes, and to run away somewhere else. No. Uh, so
Because he didn't know if his father was dead or not, so he had to escape
yes, he
in
escaped.
a way.
Yes, he has to escape because he doesn't know if the man is dead. But all the same, his plan is to leave the place.
Yes,
No.
all the same.
The all this description. This is in my edition, page 156, and I know, Malena, that your edition is quite near to mine. The paragraph that says the old, strong, farm-bred horse.
Yes.
Uh,
Perhaps in Teresa's book, it's 4 pages, 152 maybe, because she was
Interesting.
3 pages before yours, I think.
I'm sorry, I wrote my book. Which part of the chapter, please?
This is chapter 9,
Yes.
more or less 3 or 4 pages after the beginning. And the paragraph starts, the old, strong, farm-bred horse.
Yes,
Okay.
I have it. Yes.
You have it.
It's after the first space in between some paragraphs. There is a line.
There is a space, yes, and then
Yes. After that, it's a
Okay.
page and a half, more or less. After that.
and here you see how Joe presses the forces the horse, no? The old strong farm-bred horse returned home at its slow and steady canter. The youth upon its back rode lightly, balanced lightly, leaning well forward, exulting perhaps at that moment as Faustus had, of having put behind now at once and for all the shalt not. So,
You shall not kill, maybe, no?
¿cómo?
You shall not kill.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Yes, he killed the horse.
well,
He killed the horse.
Claro, he finally killed the horse. But the comparison with Faustus, I don't know if you
Faustus.
found the paragraph, Malena.
No.
156 in my edition and 40 something in Teresa's edition.
No, it is maybe 5 or 6 pages ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
From the beginning, more or less 4 or 5 pages, Malena. Pages, not.
Because I found that the part that begins with a clock was striking one somewhere, and it is after the space.
No. Before that,
Right.
three paragraphs before that.
Okay, and is it how?
That's a second space.
Okay,
There is
then
another.
to show, and the first space is then to show is all rushed away.
Yes.
No.
Well, it's in the middle. It's in between those spaces.
The paragraph.
The old,
The
strong,
old,
farm-bred
farm-bred
horse.
horse.
Is the part that begins to? Yes, the old, strong, farm-bred horse.
Yes. And there you have this is the horse, and then in the second sentence it says the youth upon its back, this is Joe, is compared to Faustus. No? The exulting perhaps at that moment as Faustus had of having put behind now at once and for all the shalt not, of being free at last of honor and law. So this exaltation, this feeling of exaltation that apparently Faustus had when he accepted the devil's offer, yes, and he felt that he was free, no, of all the laws and all the rules. The shalt not is the rule. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not lie, etc. So apparently Faustus felt this kind of exaltation and freedom at the beginning. He accepts the deal with the devil. This is what Joe can feel now because he feels free of his father. And he feels now that he can do whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Of being free at last of honor and law. And he says, I go to the end of the same paragraph, I have done it, I have done it. I told them I would. No? So,
Mm-hmm. He's very proud.
yes. Now he feels proud proud and free of all these pressure. But then, well,
Before he said, I told him I would kill him.
You thought claro, he says claro. Yes.
He says it here, and he had said it before.
Yes. He knew, and this is something that these writers that I sent you before also work with. This question of knowing before it happens. this kind of, I don't know, premonition, we can say, because this happens to Joe on different opportunities, because with
Yes.
Joanna Burden, the same happens. In a way, he
Yes.
knew that he was going to kill her, no?
Yes.
That's
And he had the same feeling with Joe Brown. He said, "This is not the one." So
this is
he knew
not
he
the,
was going to kill someone.
yes, that's right. He knows he's going to kill someone, but not this is not the one. When he looks at Joe, who is completely drunk, you remember,
Yes.
and
He
then
was
later
murdering
he
him.
kills Joanna, no?
Mhm.
So again, this idea, this feeling,
Mhm.
and after that he goes to the house. If you go to the next paragraph, Malena, it says he's at the dance, get away, old woman,
Yes.
and well,
I wanted to comment on something before
yes, yes,
in the previous paragraph, the one
yes,
that says he entered the lane.
yes,
Yes, I marked something there too, Vane. Maybe
his,
the line
his
that
dead
says
life.
caring woman who has been one of his enemies. There, that
Yes. Yes, and before. He did not pause. The careful and hidden rope were as much a part of his dead life now. His dead life. I think that this was mentioned about him before. His dead life.
mm-hmm.
This
Yes,
is not the first time that there is a reference to him as being kind of dead alive.
yes, his dead life, the life that he has had up to now, no,
Yes.
as somebody's son, as as a child. Remember that
Yes.
he said that in the previous chapter, on that day I became a man, no,
Yes.
and that is the day when he hits McEacher, not the day that he has sex for the first time. He becomes a man when he eliminates his father.
Yes. But anyway, his life was not a lively life in the sense that he was kind of dead.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, we said that he was a very strange child, a very
Mhm.
strange adolescent. What
Yes.
he does,
being always so calm. No, he's always so calm. Nothing happens to him.
and so cold, no?
So
Yes.
cool and calm. Yes, yes.
Yes,
He's alive, as Vanessa said.
yes. I think that the moment he feels alive is now, when he escapes and he goes with a decision to look for Bobby and go away with Bobby and marry her, no? That is the moment when we can say that he is kind of alive and act
Mhm.
with an objective,
Yes.
no? But
Mhm.
this, of course, lasts very little because what happens? He goes, he goes again on the horse. The horse suddenly stops because the horse cannot walk anymore, and he hits the horse. Finally he leaves. He abandons the horse. No.
Ines and the gallop and all that is so beautifully written, no?
Yes. No, the novel has beautiful passages. The description of how he uh, uh, gallops and how he moves in a compass with the horse. No, is but the poor horse is
The
practically,
noble horse.
no, the horse is old and the horse is tired. Yes. Um, and at the end of the next well, there is a space that you saw and a clock was striking, no, again, and at the end of that paragraph it says um, the horse and the rider had a strange dreamy effect, like a moving picture in slow motion as it galloped steady and flagging up the street and toward the old corner where he used to wait, less urgent perhaps, but not less eager and more young. No? So this idea of a movie, no, of a film, And this is the same, or a very similar description to the one that is used at the beginning with Lina, when Lina is on the cart, no? And how the cart moves little by little, and how, yes, this movement looks like a picture, no? How she approaches the city in that.
Yes.
And here, this again is a picture of the youth and the horse galloping, yes. And he says he's less urgent, but not less eager, and more young. So this is also something showing his feelings, because how can he be younger than before? No, but his feeling is like that.
Because he's very young, indeed.
He's what? Sorry?
He's very young.
He's
At that time, it was, I think,
18.
18.
18, yes.
Yes.
18. But now he feels younger
Mm.
than before, because he feels free of his father, free of the law. Well, although he has probably killed a person,
Mhm.
because we don't know if he has killed McEachin.
Up to now, no.
Yes. He has killed a person. He has stolen the money. No, so he's like a criminal now.
It's like he's full
Yes, he
of
has
hate.
beaten.
He has beaten, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Maybe-
Maria.
No, I think that he's full of hate.
Yes,
This hate is like a liberation for him to spread.
Yes, yes. Probably, yes. Now he feel that's why he has this feeling of being younger, yes, and obviously powerful. Well, then of course he goes to the bar, to the house where Bobby is, and well, you see the episode when he hits the horse, etc. When he approaches the house, he can see a light in Bobby's room.
Mhm.
He can hear voices, so he thinks that perhaps they are waiting for him.
Mm.
But in his imagination, they thinks that they are waiting for him because they know that he's going to look for Bobby to go to run away with her. This is what he imagines, but
Yes.
only Joe imagines this. The others are
and he kind of confirms that when he sees the suitcases.
claro. When he gets to the house, he can see the suitcases ready, and Mame and Max, everybody is ready to leave.
Had packed. Yes.
But they are ready. They are ready to leave because Bobby has told them what happened, and they think that somebody has been killed, and that the authorities would come to this house looking for him. So they want to escape because they are criminals.
Yes,
They
too.
have,
Yes.
claro,
They are doing something illegal too.
obviously they have a brothel there, and Bobby is a prostitute, so they want to escape. They are going back to Memphis, no? So when he sees the suitcases, etc., he thinks that Bobby is ready to go with him, which of course is not true, no?
Mhm. He's very confident in himself.
Yes, and also in Bobby's, let's say, feelings, no? He thinks that she's going. I mean, that he imagines that she knows that he's going to look for her. No, this is all part of his own imagination, because nobody is waiting for him. In fact,
Yes.
no.
And of his immaturity, and
Yes.
because or perhaps it's not just immaturity, it's this irrational part
Yes. Yes.
inside him, because he
Yes.
says, I didn't think she would have so many suitcases, and how can I carry all of them?
Yes. No, claro. This
He
part
doesn't
is,
connect reality and the consequences of his act.
yes. No, he cannot see the consequences of his act, and he is not connected with reality at all.
No.
So this part is rather cruel, no? Because we see Joe's consciousness thinking something, and at the same time we see the reality, how these people are
Yes.
not ready to go with him, or to I mean that his idea and reality are completely different.
Yes.
Mhm.
So we feel
Is something similar to madness,
in
to
his
separate reality with expectations.
completely, yes.
And he always only thinks about himself.
Yes, of course.
Like he's the center of the world.
Yes, he's the center of the world, and he cannot see the elements in front of him, that these people are preparing to leave, but not with him, away from him,
Yes.
right? So when he gets to, sorry,
And here in this part of this episode, the idea of running,
yes, good,
being but stop, he's running all the time in this paragraph, the
yes,
following paragraph.
yes.
Yes.
And the way in which he is running, and his mind is also kind of running, no? He feels that
Yes.
his thoughts are running ahead of him, no? A moment of confusion. Not in his mind. He's not confused. He has an objective, and he goes towards his objective. But it is as if his thoughts were going more quickly than his body, no?
Mhm.
Well, then he arrives at Bobby's room, and he finds Bobby sitting at the bed with another man, a man he doesn't know. He has never met before.
And a stranger.
A stranger wearing a hat, yes. So we don't know anything about this man. But, well, the stranger sat on the bed too, also smoking. This is the beginning of another paragraph.
Mhm.
And there he finds the stranger, Bobby, Max, and Mame. Everybody dressed and ready to leave. No, so he heard at the end of that paragraph, the paragraph that says the stranger sat on the bed too. At the end of that paragraph, uh, it says he heard their actual voices without knowing what they said, without even listening. Ask him. So the people are saying things, and he
I
hears,
can't hear them.
claro, but he cannot understand what they are saying. Ask him. How would he knew? Perhaps he heard the words, but likely not. Likely they were as yet no more significant than the rasping of insects beyond the close-drawn window, or the packed bags which he had looked at and had not yet seen. He cleared out right afterward, Bobby said. So the people are talking about him, and about the man who could be dead, no? So they want to ask him if the man is dead, if McKitchen is dead. And Bobby says, no, he couldn't know because he left after me. But he doesn't know that they are talking about him.
Yes.
No?
He's not
Aware.
in reality.
He's not exactly like a madman. Sorry,
Yes.
we are the
Yes,
It's finishing.
so we can meet again at 10 to 5. Is that okay? I'll send you a
Yes.
link. Okay.
Totally okay.
So they